I do love that song. It's an oldie, but a goodie. Now, the Fix, who actually sang that song, had a little bit something different in mind when they wrote it and they were singing it. It was about relationships. And one thing leads to another can be looked at a couple different ways. The way we're going to look at it today is a little bit of a twist, but one that I think we really, really need to pay attention to. So welcome, everybody. Glad to have you back. This is Embracing Brokenness Ministries video and audio podcast, and I'm Steve Adams. So let's jump right in. Again, I've said this a dozen times, but my wife and I absolutely love going to the Jersey Shore. And so anytime we get a chance, we're headed down there. And it's not far from it's probably about, maybe 2 hours away. And there's a particular place that we love to go. It's actually right here, Stone Harbor. But in a recent visit, I was responding to a piece of mail that I got. Actually, I think it was a piece of mail or email that I got. And here's the deal, right? You go down to one of the big casinos in Atlantic City. You can stay for up to 2 nights for free. Free. And I figured, well, you know what? Let's just get close to the shore. This will be great. I mean, we can just go there, jump off, head down to the beach, go wherever we want to go. I don't particularly love the Atlantic City beaches. They're not all that pristine or great. The boardwalks. So we usually just would go south from there. So that's what we did. Now, don't judge me. I know it's a casino, and it's fine. Okay? Well, maybe it's not, now that I think about it. So we get into this casino, and the crazy thing is you got to walk through all this maze of between slot machines and craps tables and roulette and, waitresses with practically nothing on, and then the 20-something set with their tight dresses and low-cut fronts and all this stuff. And that's before you get to the front desk. Okay. Then checking in, a breeze, no problem. I look over this beautiful pool. I can't wait. Maybe we jump in the pool. But you know what? We're just here. We're going to sleep overnight. We're going to get out of town in between and just have our fun. So, we head up to the room, and it is gorgeous. I mean, it's beautiful. We got our rain shower, and you got all this really upgraded, nice king-size bed. Beautiful views of the water. I mean, absolutely gorgeous. So, what the heck? Why not? Colleen's in the bathroom, get changed or something, and I decided, let me flip on the TV, and I did. And of course, one of the first things that comes up is a list of all the entertainment available to you. So besides all the things I just saw, we can go to nightclubs, we can go to the comedy club, we can go to the bars, and we can eat, drink, and be merry. Plenty of food. That's the good part. But then there's also movies. So I flip it on, and what pops up? Oh yeah. First thing, adult movies and all the genres, all the different things you can choose from. So if you get where I'm going, it's like, well, okay, this sounded like a good idea at the time, and I think it still is, but you know what? You got hit with every temptation under the sun, and I'm sitting there just shaking my head going, well, I'm glad I'm a little grounded in the Word, but I can see where this could be a serious problem for a lot of people. So without yielding to temptation, which I'm glad is not sin, we're sitting in this place, but it just occurred to me, one thing can lead to another. I mean, you give yourself over to some little thing that's seemingly innocent, whatever that might look like. I don't really know. In your life, it could be just about anything. The last thing you want to do when you're on a diet or you're trying to eat well is to walk by a donut shop and look in the window or smell all the smells that are associated with it. That's kind of dumb, right? Even if it's on the way to the gym. Nor do you want to put yourself in places where it just is far more overload in terms of temptation than what you would hope for. And this was a perfect instance of that. And what's really troubling, I think, is we lose sight of how critical it is for us to steer clear of situations that just are not uplifting and helpful in our Christian walk. But it is the reality of the world we live in, isn't it? There is nothing out there apart from us staying inside of our 4 walls where we're not going to gain some sort of temptation to walk into places we shouldn't be, mentally, physically, any way you want to think about it. So it just, troubled me, and I wanted to bring this up because I think, we have an opportunity to look at our lives a little differently from a perspective where God says, don't put yourself in tough spots. It really isn't about trying to enjoy all the pleasures of this world, because they are very fleeting and they have very little to do with the kingdom come or the kingdom here on earth, but has more to do with our own insecurities of just having certain needs met apart from what God intended for us. And I look at even this trip to AC, or to the shore, and there was a diversion from where we wanted to go and all the temptations that go along with it. And if I'd have just made one wrong step, just one thing leading to another, I could have gone down this path of destruction that never was intended for me. And it just was like a wake-up call. I wanted to share it with you guys because I sat on it for a while. I wrote this blog probably 2 months ago. I think the Eagles were playing and getting ready to get in the playoffs, and I was, pretty excited about watching TV on the big screen down there, and ended up not doing that. We went somewhere else, I think, to watch the game, or stayed in our room. But it was one of those times when I realized how critical it was for me to share the reality of this world that we live in, and that's for me, it's for all of us, because you can't escape it. And I knew the timing had to be certain that I wanted to share this with you, because we're going to be leading into a series coming up in the next few weeks and even a few months ahead of us. And we want to address sexual brokenness and the church. And so I'll save that until next time we're together. But think about all the temptations that lead us down that road, because that's the road the enemy really grabs hold and rips families apart. And as part of that trip to AC and walking into that casino, there was multiple ways in which sexual brokenness, I could see it, and there was a draw. Like it wants to pull you in, even if it's just with your eyes, to take a second look or a third look, and or make a decision about where to tune in on the television that just isn't appropriate. So guys, just be aware. I mean, it's all this is just an awareness thing. God's very clear in His Word. He said there is no temptation that is known to man that He will not provide a way out. And I've taken the way out on so many occasions. But I also can think back in my life when I didn't take that way out, and what destruction it wreaked and the havoc in my life. And so a warning to all of us: let's just back down from what the world thinks and believes is the appropriate way to respond to all things fun, and let's reinterpret that from God's perspective. So listen, bless you all. We'll get back again next week, and remember, one thing doesn't have to lead to another unless it's for the glory of God, and that's when we should be allowing that to happen in our lives. So take care. Love y'all. Have a great week. Bye.